if I were to just cast my mind back to last year, January, I was going through depression.
Sure.
And I remember just looking at myself in the mirror. Like, I had achieved so much at that point, but I just didn't recognize who I was. Like, someone said a saying a few months back to me, and it was like, when God gives you a vision, he will give you provision. Sure. And he's given me strength. Like, if I were to look at my day-to-day, it's not easy. I'm giving you guys the game.
Hey beautiful, welcome back to the Kiya Convos podcast. This is the space for all things self-care, wellness and empowerment. I'm your host, Amoah, and today I'm so excited to introduce the gorgeous, beautiful Miriam. Hi.
Thank you so much, Kay, for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to come down.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. I love to always kick off asking my guests to just introduce yourself to the audience, let them know who is Miriam.
Yeah, so my name is Miriam Owusu. I am a woman in the tech and sales space. I'm also the founder of Miri Elevate. So that's primarily linked to masterclasses. I'm really trying to upskill entrepreneurs, young professionals about the LinkedIn game. Mm-hmm. I also do sales classes. So again, teaching all things sales and just helping people really just navigate and overcome imposter syndrome. And that's me in a nutshell.
Perfect. Love it. So can you take us back to young Miriam? Were you always interested in tech, or is that something that's developed over time?
Yeah. Do you know what? When I was young, like, you know, when you have so many dreams, you're like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be like Beyonce. But honestly speaking, I was very much keen to become like a footballer when I was young.
I never saw that coming.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I played I don't look it now, guys, but I played football for many years.
Okay.
And eventually I then kind of realized that, okay, football is one thing, mm-hmm. but what if you get injured and you know, what's next?
Yeah.
And I developed a love for geography.
Okay.
But then it got to a point when it came to like GCSE times, A levels, and you had to really knuckle down on like, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. And a lot of my teachers, you know, my mum was like, do you know what? You're very good at debating. You're very good at writing. Do law.
Okay.
So I studied law for my degree, and I graduated back in 2019. But during my studies, there was a module on technology. Mm-hmm. And that's where I developed my interest in tech. And then I eventually moved into tech sales. So yeah, that's my journey.
So when you finished studying law, you never went into law at all? You just went straight into tech?
So I actually went into law while studying.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
So I was balancing working in sales. So I was working in Carphone Warehouse whilst I was at university, but equally I was really trying to gain work experience in law firms to just make an informed decision. So I worked for the council. Okay. I also did some placements at some top legal law firms, especially US firms, and that just gave me insight into like, okay, if I want to become a lawyer, what does the day-to-day look like? If I want to become a commercial lawyer, what does litigation look like? Or you know, things like that. So yeah, I was very blessed to have had the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So that sales insight as well as that law insight. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was it that made you think, okay, no, law is not actually for me?
I would say sales pretty much found me. And a lot of people fall into sales without even planning to. Mm-hmm. So for me, my main thing with sales when I got into Carphone Warehouse and that was my first job in sales, was I need to make the money. I need to make the money. And it just opened that door for me. And then eventually, as you develop your craft, you realize that that's almost like where your strengths are. Because at that point, I had like 3 years in the game, 4 years in the game.
Yeah.
And then obviously law, it was just work experience. So then for me, it was like, okay, if I were to graduate today, what am I leaning on? And I just kind of moved into sales. And I mean, for those of you who don't know, especially tech sales, it's a super lucrative area.
Okay.
Very well paid, and tech is the future. So it's like, it's such a beautiful and innovative space to be. So I don't regret it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what's it looked like since you've started, I guess, developing and growing in your career in tech sales?
It's been very rapid.
Okay.
And I say that because I have pretty much done most of the roles in tech sales in a short space of time. And I've been in tech sales for like going on to nearly like 4.5, going on to 5 years.
Sure.
So my first role in tech sales was a sales development representative. So that's like your junior entry level. And then within 5 months, I became an account executive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that transition from an SDR to an account executive who closed deals, that could take someone 2 years to do, but I did it within 5 months.
Why is that?
Yeah. And then I then moved into post sales, which is what I'm doing now. So once that deal was closed, the people that nurture those relationships. So yeah, I've kind of gone through the full sales cycle, and yeah, it's been interesting, but very fast. I've had to learn quick.
What would you say is the reason for the speed in which you've been able to develop in your career?
I would say knowing what I want and also leaning on my strengths.
Sure.
And also not being afraid to sometimes leave a company in order to get to where you need to get to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it been like for you as a young Black female in the tech space? Has it been okay for you? Have you had experiences that weren't so comfortable? I know that's something that often puts Black women, I mean, there's a whole push to try and get more Black women into tech. So what's been your experience been like?
Yeah, this is an amazing question, and I'm so passionate, Kay, when it comes to like diversity and equity and inclusion, just generally. But to be real, the majority of the companies that I've worked for in tech, I've been one of few Black people in the entire company. But the way I've really tried to navigate the corporate world just generally, whether it be in the legal world or the tech world, is I don't want to see that as a hindrance.
Okay.
So I know there could be there could be whether it's microaggressions or discrimination, but if I focus on that, then could I progress? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm very much an optimistic person. And if I am one of few, I see it as, okay, I'm here. So how do I make an impact? Yeah. And it's little things like, okay, if you've got deliverables, if you've got work to do, make sure you deliver it with excellence. Yeah. Because then colour's out of the equation. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And one thing that I do, particularly outside of the world of my 9 to 5, is try and do my bit when it comes to DEI. So whether that be career coaching, helping those on the ground, like whether it's CV, interview skills, giving people the game. It could be more women, more Black women, just telling them, okay, cool. Yeah, you could apply through Indeed or Reed, but what's your strategy? Okay, sure. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you utilizing platforms such as LinkedIn to your advantage? Are you networking? Yeah. Because for me, a lot of my highest paid tech sales jobs I've got is through networking. And some people forget that when it comes to job search. And if you get that game, you could start to kind of move into this space. Not with ease, but it becomes that bit more easier. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Since you mentioned LinkedIn, we were always going to get into it because I rarely come across people that are smashing it on LinkedIn, and you've built such an amazing platform there. I know we spoke a few weeks ago about your journey and how fast it's actually been. Can you speak to us about what your journey looked like once you started sharing more on LinkedIn?
Yeah. When I think about LinkedIn, it actually makes me emotional because, I'm a woman of faith, and God has done amazing things in a short space of time. So if I were to just cast my mind back to last year, January, I was going through depression.
Sure.
And I remember just looking at myself in the mirror, like I had achieved so much at that point, but I just didn't recognize who I was. And God surrounded me with a support system, people who were speaking life into me and almost reminding me of what I had in me. And it's funny because what I'm doing on LinkedIn and beyond that, like I'm now booked to speak, you know, those around me, my therapist saw that and they told me that at the time, but because I was so broken, I was like, what, me? Yeah. But I did the work. And one thing God said was, Miriam, you're a woman and you're a Black woman in the tech space. You need to help the next generation coming up. And for me, it was like, okay, how do I do that? Yeah. And he just gave me that insight into LinkedIn. Like that's a platform that is now moving, right? So then I kind of position myself. And honestly speaking, and for those of you who are listening, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to develop your career, LinkedIn is not a platform to sleep on. It is not. And it's changed my life. You know, I've built a business now. So even with what I said about my LinkedIn masterclasses, I now do that, helping entrepreneurs, young professionals off the back of my knowledge.
Yeah.
I get booked to speak. So there's so many organizations that I'm working with, whether it be universities, Nottingham Trent University, Women in Tech Forum, who have just found me through LinkedIn. And had I not been visible, how would I have got that opportunity? But beyond that, I'm not just about being on show for the sake of it. For me, it's like, if I'm on show, but there's nothing behind the scenes, what's the point?
Yeah.
And this is where my career coaching, like helping people on the ground, comes in, because I'm able to tap into that audience just by being visible, but then help them behind the scenes.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it's been life-changing for sure.
Going back to, I know you said you were experiencing depression before, you know, taking off with your personal brand, etc. I don't know how much you want to go into that, but what did that period look like for you, and what did doing the work look like in terms of getting out of that mindset and headspace?
Yeah. So honestly speaking, it was a time where I had to really humble myself.
Sure.
And what I mean by that, I'm a person that I've got goals. Like, I'm like, I would take my plan to God. Like, God, this is what I'm doing for 2024, 2025.
Yeah.
But God humbled me. And, you know, there's a scripture, and I know, I appreciate not everyone's a Christian, or, you know, not everyone's a person of faith, but there's a scripture in the Bible that says, those who are humbled will be exalted. And that's exactly what God did in that time. He showed me that you're nothing without me.
Yeah.
And even with the little strength that I had to call on him. And what the day-to-day doing the work was looking at Bible scriptures, even though I didn't really believe in it, I would write them down and stick them on my mirror.
Yeah.
So every day I would wake up, I would see that. And there would be things like, you know, God did not give you this, you know, the spirit of fear and all of that stuff that I would meditate on. So that happened. And I'm very, very big on, not God is one thing, but seeking help. And that's where I got my therapist / life coach. And honestly, she woke me up very quickly. She woke me up.
Yeah.
She made me realize, okay, cool, I understand where you're at, but what you're called to do in this world, you can't stay stuck in this place forever.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. Let's work together. Let's take those little steps, whether it's, you know, taking more time to yourself to have a break.
Yeah.
You know, spending more time with God, going on walks, spending time exercising. Like, let's do that. And by taking those small steps, gradually, I came out of that. And also surrounding myself around people who were speaking life into me. So even when I was down, they weren't frustrated. They were like, no, Miriam, you're amazing.
Yeah. And
they reminded me of that. And it's weird when I look at it, but when I look back, day by day, I was getting stronger. And before you realized, I was out.
Yeah.
You know, and through coming out, I managed to just, for me, I would say, find my purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, I love that. And I love what you said about repeating the scriptures to yourself, even though you didn't feel it or believe it at the time. I think that a lot of people, they know the scriptures to say, okay, this will get me out of my sadness or make me want to move forward, but they're not feeling it. But it is about just continuing. The more you continue, your faith will grow, your belief will grow, and then it will just become real to you. The word will become real to you. So I love that you mentioned that you continued, even though it didn't feel like that at the time. Okay, so when you then embarked on starting your personal brand, what did that look like practically for you when you first started showing up? And why did you choose LinkedIn initially?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so practically, it really involved me, one, understanding my why.
Okay.
Because when it comes to personal branding, a lot of people, they don't have a why. They're just like, I just want to be visible. Okay, but why? Like, because it's not a joke. Once you start being visible, it takes work, right? And for me, this is what it links back to what I was saying earlier about God just revealing that this is a space for you to help the next generation, particularly in tech.
Yeah.
So when I understood my why, I understood what kind of content I was going to post. And if you look at my first initial post, that was one element. I then understood also that I'm a woman of color who has overcome depression. And I had become so passionate about literally going from a place of darkness to light, right? And empowering others. So another element was the growth mindset, doing content around that.
Yeah.
But then I would map it out. So I would kind of say, okay, cool. If I'm looking at a month, this week I'm going to be talking about X, and that could be tech related topics. This week I'm going to be talking about growth mindset topics. So those who were starting to follow me, they started to realize, okay, cool. If I go to Miriam's page, this is what
you get.
What you get. And it's so important when you build your personal brand, especially on a professional platform like LinkedIn, where people understand where you're positioning yourself. Because if you position yourself well, you could be seen as the queen of cosmetics, just like you, right? Or for me, I could be seen as, okay, Miriam, if anyone wants to know more about sales or tech, she's the go-to person. So that's kind of what I did. And I also saw a lot of mentors.
Okay, sure.
People like Alicia Richardson, and I'll give her a shout out because she was phenomenal on my journey, and she was in the LinkedIn game for time. You know, she's built a business, doing great things. Particularly,
we actually just had an event on Saturday and we used her space, and she was there.
There you go. Shout out Alicia, love you, love you, love you. But yeah. And at the time, I didn't really know Alicia, but I saw what she was doing. And she gave me time. She gave me about 15 minutes of her time. And I always laugh when I speak to her about it now, because she wasn't playing games. She was like, cool, like, what's your, like,
what you did?
What are you doing? And I was like, oh. And this was during the earlier months where I hadn't even started to post. She was like, cool, this is what you kind of have to do. Very brief, but it was enough to plant the seed.
Sure. And
one thing that she emphasized on was like, position yourself as an industry expert in that field. So make sure when you're talking with knowledge, confidence, you're informing people. You're not just there for no reason.
Yeah.
You're adding value.
Yeah. And authority.
And it's little things. Sometimes people don't need to say much, but when they say things like that, it sticks. And, you know, we're very close now, and she's seen my growth, and she's kind of realized, I gave this girl 15 minutes and she managed to take that on, but it's because I was ready.
Sure.
And she gave me enough to go. And I think that's important in life. Like when you know you're ready for the next step, seek mentors, seek those who can give you advice. And she wasn't my mentor by no means at the time, but she was someone that I looked up to.
Sure.
You can gain knowledge from them. You've got the game.
Yeah.
All you need to do is take action. And that's what I've done. Yeah.
So what has your journey in terms of your personal brand looked like? Have you had challenges? What have your peak successes looked like so far on your journey?
Yeah. So I would say peak successes, I got picked up on by an organization who essentially nominated me for an award called Young Businesswoman of the Year. And that, thank you.
We saw that.
Yeah, that recognized those under 30 who were making an impact in their career.
Sure.
So I know at the time it was like young businesswoman. People were like, what business is Miriam?
I mean.
Yeah, thank you. So that was like one of the peak successes.
Sure. Because
that happened in the same year that I overcame depression.
Wow.
And it was like, do you know what I mean? Like, how can that happen? And people who knew me, it was almost like a whole 180 within a short space of time. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So there was that. And I would say people almost seeing me and realizing, okay, I can go into tech. I can go into tech sales.
Yeah.
And them coming to me for advice. I think that's a blessing. That's an honor. So that's been another peak success, launching my business.
Yeah.
I now use LinkedIn as a lead generation tool where, like, if I'm advertising an event or promoting my LinkedIn masterclass, I just get leads from that, you know, and business from that. So imagine having a concept and it turning into revenue. It's that is a highlight.
Yeah.
I would also say this year I also was a finalist for Rising Star for the Black Tech Achievements Awards, and again that came off the back of what I was doing on LinkedIn, also with my business and all of that stuff. So that was highlights. Now I'll say some challenges. I am, believe it or not, a private person. And when your life is out there, it's like, it's out there, So it's making sure that you're present to the point where you're not oversharing, but you're sharing. Because LinkedIn now, there's so much beauty in being vulnerable.
Yes.
You can resonate with so many people and people can resonate with you. So I've shared my story about being depressed, but I don't go into the intricacies of that. So it's me having to check myself to be like, is this too much or is it not?
Yeah.
Consistency too. Like the world is more than social media, right? So how do you remain consistent but also be present in the world?
Yeah.
But for me, I think one thing that I'll say, and this is, I'm just giving you gems like free game, is find your consistency when it comes to social media. Like I have been consistent posting every single week for the past, I would say, year now, and working a 9-to-5, building a business. But what I did initially before I even started was like, cool, with my busy schedule, how can I maneuver?
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, I'm posting max twice a week.
Sure.
I'm not trying to do 5 days, 7 days, not. And I've just stuck with that. So that's important. Find your consistency and stick with that. And your audience will be able to almost follow your journey because you're consistent. You may not pop up 7 days a week, but you pop up every week.
Yeah. They start to expect that you're going to come up.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, they're not always thinking, oh, Miriam's going to be posting, but they followed my journey. So they know, they get to know me through social media because I'm showing up every week.
Yeah.
And I think that's important when it comes to growing your brand and your personal brand.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love it. What did it look like in terms of when you decided, I know we spoke about this before, when you decided you wanted to get into like public speaking and growing your brand, how did that develop? Did it develop organically or was it something you were intentional about changing up in terms of how you showed up online?
Yeah. So I had a lot of organizations coming into my DMs.
Sure.
And even now I do. And that's the power of being visible. For those of you who, and they don't pay me to say this, but if you don't know Hayley Melinda, or Hayley Records, follow her. Because she speaks about being visible. Like
she said, "You're too broke to not be visible."
That's a mic drop moment.
I mean, yeah,
and that's real, right? Social media is not a joke. So with me being visible, I started to get interest, and people, because I had been intentional with positioning myself as a woman in tech, a woman in sales. They knew, okay, if I'm going to ever book Miriam, this is what she's known as.
Yes, yeah.
They weren't confused about what I could bring to the table, if that makes sense. So that happened, and then I realized, okay, if people are booking me, I'm a speaker. Right? I'm working with universities, I'm working with huge organizations. So I then essentially built my brand around also being a speaker.
Sure.
But it wasn't something that I led with. It was something that came to me, and I thought, if I don't add this to it, then I'm kind of missing an opportunity here.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you mentioned that obviously you're still in the industry, you're still working a 9-to-5. I personally always say I don't believe in balance. I just go with what screams the loudest. That's what works for me.
I love that.
But how do you navigate building this amazing personal brand that you have and still holding on to your 9-to-5 and your business? How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. But for me, it's almost like when God gives you a vision, he will give you the strength.
Sure.
And I think there's someone said a saying a few months back to me, and it was like, when God gives you a vision, he will give you provision.
Sure.
And he's given me strength. Like if I were to look at my day-to-day, it's not easy. You know, even for you, you're a mum, you've got a business. There's so many things, right? But you do it. And sometimes you may look back and think, how do I do it? But that's one element. And even on the days where I'm tired, I could just say a prayer like, God, give me strength. Give me strength to go to work and deal with this difficult customer. And God does that for me. And I would say another thing is I'm very big on rest. Like, let's not burn ourselves out. Like, let's not. And don't get me wrong, there are seasons where you have to lock in. Yes, absolutely. But equally, how long for? Like, you need to just not have necessarily a balance per se or the perfect balance, but prioritize rest. Yeah. And sometimes social media can almost make us think that we don't have time because we're constantly on it. But it's time. Yeah. There's time, and don't just constantly be on it where you're overstimulated. And I'm preaching to myself because I'm always having to check myself when it comes to that. So that's another element. And having friends and family who remind you that the most important thing in life really is, I would say, your friends and family. Yeah. You know, so when I think about that and I spend time with them, it just brings me back. It gives me that energy to keep going. So yeah, that's how I've done it. And I would finally say, make sure if you're ever going to be doing something like this, like 9 to 5 and 5 to 9, is you're working in a company that understand what you're doing, because my company know that I've got a business that I'm building, but they're a healthy environment. They're not toxic. Because some environments, imagine if it drains you mentally, physically, and then you're building a whole, like, what energy are you going to pour into your business? Sure. Yeah. So that's another thing.
Yeah, definitely. Let's speak on, we didn't really touch on your actual business as much. What did that look like? When did that come about and what led to it as well?
Yeah. So I was getting booked, especially to speak and stuff, and I had no business. And I said, hey, like, especially when they were talking about invoices and all of that stuff. And you need to make sure, like, I didn't expect that, right? Yeah. But you need to make sure that if there's something there, that you come correct. Sure. Yeah. So last year, November, I registered my business. There's still a lot of work that's happening behind the scenes, but the good thing is business is coming through regardless. Do you know what I mean? So it really came from, one, seeing what was coming to me. And sometimes, like, the vision is clear. Like, why are people coming to me for career or tech sales advice? Like, could I not do coaching on that? Could I not help with interview skills? Because if I'm just giving free game to everyone, of course I would love to do that, but that's knowledge, you know, in itself. So that came as part of it. Obviously the speaking, so getting booked to speak, that's now a part of my business. Yeah, like, in terms of, like, the LinkedIn stuff, I always want to share and give people the game where possible. Yeah. So that business came off the back of that, where I just wanted to create a community where I could just give them the gems rather than just crumbs of advice, because I would be rushing if they come to me on LinkedIn. But if I've got a community, I could take my time. And we now have, like, a WhatsApp community, and we're just in there, like, just talking. And I've just seen so many people who have gone from being scared of LinkedIn now, like, doing videos, like, we're all supporting each other, and that's what it's all about, you know. Because I remember when I was starting, I was scared. Yeah. But if you have the right support system, you'd be amazed at what you can do. So yeah, that's all just come from, the business.
Yeah, showing up online.
So
was it quite easy for you to, not easy, but to create the community? I guess you already had it and you just directed them somewhere.
Yeah, and this is the thing about, I'm understanding a lot about business communities. Personal brand is not a joke. No, for real, Kay. Like, because people now, they almost feel like they know me online, right? So then if you start advertising a service or a product, they've just kind of naturally just followed through. If they
you've already built the trust.
Because I've already built the trust. Yeah. Over the span of a few months, right? So then they now buy the masterclass and they now trust me to give them the knowledge. And then as part of the masterclass, we have a community
Yeah.
off the back of that. So do you know what I mean? It's all kind of interlinked. But had
Yeah.
I not had my brand or been visible, how would they know me to trust me? To purchase something from me to then.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how that works just by showing up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been quite intentional about showing up and trying to build my own personal brand.
Woo-woo.
And that looks like posting on LinkedIn. I try for like once a week
I love
where
that.
I can. What would you say from, not to share all your gems from your masterclass, but what would you say are sort of your top 3 tips for building a personal brand on LinkedIn?
Yeah. Okay. So, and I love the fact that you're posting once a week. Like that's amazing.
I try.
We gotta give yourself. Sometimes you gotta give yourself props because that's a lot. Like having an idea once a week. But what I would say is having your, what I would say, content pillars on lock.
Yeah.
What are you posting about? What are your themes? And a lot of people don't know. They don't think about content creation as what are my themes.
Yeah.
But it helps you to almost like plan out your content. And if you're smart, you can even batch prepare in the sense that I can say within the next month, I'm going to be posting twice a week, 10 posts for the month. And the theme for the first 2 weeks is going to be about personal growth.
Sure.
For the last 2 weeks is going to be primarily just on giving people the game of sales. And on a Saturday, I could just plan that out and then schedule my posts. So it comes out automatically. So especially if you're working or you're doing multiple things, it's easier.
Yeah.
And on top of that, your audience, and I've said it earlier on, they know what you're about.
Yeah.
But if you're posting about, let's say, horses one day, and then like Arsenal the next, it's like,
who are you?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's so much elements to us as individuals, but when it comes to content creation, it's good when you start off to figure out, okay, cool, roughly, where am I going with this? Is it sports? Is it fashion? Is it hair, cosmetics, like body butters? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second tip I will say is definitely find communities where you could share your post in.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm giving you guys the game. But that's exactly what I did initially, where, especially when you take time to post, you may be like, I'm only going to get 1 like or 2 likes, right? But if you've got a church community, or if you're in WhatsApp groups that you can't just be posting without people knowing you in that group, right?
Yeah.
But like if you know the community, posting, they're like, oh guys, I would love you to engage.
Sure.
And that's what I did, not immediately, but eventually when I really, if I had a really powerful message and I felt like I want the whole world to see it.
Yeah.
I thought, how am I going to get it to as many people? And then I thought my communities that I'm part of, and I'm part of so many, whether it's WhatsApp communities or tech communities. But now I don't do that, but that's another tip. The third thing I will probably say is definitely think about the way that LinkedIn algorithm works. You have to really just give as much as you receive. And what I mean by that is, it's all very well posting, but are you engaging in other people's posts?
Sure.
I can categorically tell you, if you spend time, the same kind of time that you spend posting on engaging, your engagement will just flow through.
Okay. Sure.
Like I will post, to dedicate time to engage in someone's post, and those same people will come back to me. And I genuinely am interested in their content. So make sure that you're following people that
you're interested
in,
yeah.
right? But that's one thing people forget. And the algorithm recognizes that. Okay. If you're just posting and leaving they know that you're just there. You're not adding.
You're not active.
You're not active.
A part of the
you're
community.
not adding value. Yeah. So that's what I'll say.
That's good. I love that. I have a question for myself, but the audience. Do you find that with LinkedIn, I know you can either have just the post as in the text, post with images, and then post with video. What do you find works best on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So the algorithm changes as with many platforms. But I would say as of recent, there's been a shift to videos.
Sure.
So if you can really go down that route, you've unlocked a door there.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't mean you will get amazing engagement immediately, but it's a quick way to gain engagement.
Sure.
And the algorithm will push out your content to more people. Because
Yeah.
what you don't want is the algorithm to just push it out to your connections. You want it to be beyond your connection,
Yeah.
just so you can continually grow. But one thing that I'm big on is not just pigeonholing myself. So not just doing video content. Can I also do written?
Yeah.
Can I add a picture? And that works, because if I'm just doing content that's just videos, some people may not have time to be looking at a minute video, right? But they see your picture and they're like,
ooh, what's that?
What's that?
Yeah.
So, and I guess if for anyone who's experimenting, they could find what their audience likes too. Because if your audience prefers pictures, you would kind of tell over time with the engagement.
Yeah.
If your audience likes videos, then stick with that. There's some pages that just primarily focus on videos. So, yeah, I would say do a variety.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. Before we change gears, what would you encourage a young Black girl coming up behind you that wants to enter tech and sales, or tech sales either, in terms of building their career and just being encouraged to do so?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is recognizing that you belong in this space.
Yes.
Like unapologetically. Because if you're coming into an industry or space where you're a minority and you don't feel like you belong, that could be a deterrent in itself.
Sure.
You could look at a company's website and not see anyone that looked like you're like, why am I applying, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say, if you can, really try and be in spaces where you can absorb knowledge very quickly. So for me, when I was moving into tech sales, I was intentional about networking events.
Sure.
And the reason why that's so powerful is because you can see, what is the market focusing on? Every industry will have their main things. Is it, for example, now, is it security threats posed by AI? Is it the fact that companies are becoming more cloud-based, or they're looking at cloud-based softwares? It's all of that stuff. And the more you're able to absorb that knowledge, if you now go into the industry or you go into an interview and they ask you, okay, what news have you been following? Or you're already prepared.
It keeps you sharp.
It keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
And some people forget that. They're moving into an industry and they're not doing the research, or they may be doing quick research for the interview for that specific company, but that company sits in a wider
industry.
Yeah. And there's so many different factors that are impacting them that can impact their revenue. And that's you now thinking commercially. And that would distinguish yourself. That would distinguish you in an interview, because other candidates aren't thinking like that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I would say. But you need to be in the right rooms to absorb that knowledge.
Yeah.
And some events that I would probably recommend is, there's Tech in Ghana. So that's an event that happens both in the UK and Ghana, where you get so many different tech companies there. Accountex.
Okay. That's
more for like the fintech world, financial technology companies.
Sure.
So you see the likes of like Starling Bank there, Monzo, all the latest kind of tech companies that are on the market there. And Accountex is free. So
wow.
yeah. And imagine, again, I'm giving you guys game again. If you're new to the industry, right, or you're trying to look for a job, you can go to these events and you're seeing these companies that you want to work for on the ground.
Building relationships.
This is where you take networking to the next level.
Yeah.
Because you could be applying on their website, but you're a number.
Yeah.
You see them on the ground, and trust me, you will get C-suite individuals on the ground at these events.
Okay, sure.
Like CEOs.
Yeah.
To the marketing team or whatever. So imagine if you go in, and people aren't thinking like this, and people get jobs by doing that. So it's like, if you're new, how can you find ways that are easier for you to break in, but already you're building a rapport with those peers that will be in the industry with you. Yeah.
Do you know what I love about your tips? I know I said for a young Black girl coming up behind you, but that's something that there's a lot of Black women that want to enter the tech space or that are changing their careers. And I think those tips would definitely be helpful for them as well. So yeah, I love that. Love that for us. Thank you so much. This has been so good. Changing gears slightly, what does self-care look like for you?
Yeah. So for me, there's different elements, but definitely prioritizing my relationship with God. Because anytime I slack in that area, my self-care is out the window. So that's definitely one. So whether it's praying, going on my prayer walks, having moments of gratitude, that's important. I'm also now really big on like massages.
Okay, I love that for you.
Yeah, like I do like deep tissue massages, even if it's like once every 2 months. Because I work from home too, so if you're at your desk, it can impact your body. Now, I would have said gym, but I've been slacking, guys. So if anyone has any tips, I need support on that.
Me too.
Honestly, but like you'll probably know once you're on it with the gym.
I mean, I've been trying to get back. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll have to be accountability partners. But when I'm on it with the gym, my self-care is just like, it's on a different level.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And for me, it's also about, honestly speaking, especially at this phase of my life, checking your tribe, like checking your circle to make sure that you're around the right people.
Yeah.
Because I've really looked into people who energize you and people who deplete you.
Yes.
And there's so many times, if you just take a step back where you could be speaking to someone on the phone, you finish and you feel drained.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we have friends, we have family, and there's moments where I need someone to vent to or whatever. But if it's a constant thing, that could impact you, and it can even impact your self-care.
Yeah.
So I'm very mindful of who I'm around. Like people I'm around, we all have that growth mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
We know that there's going to be days where we don't want to go gym. But then how do we bounce back next week?
Yeah.
Or next month? Or there's going to be days or times in life where you get bad news, but how do you remain resilient? Do you know what I mean? And that's the mindset I've had. But if I wasn't around the right people, honestly speaking, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely feeds into self-care. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would say, what self-care looks like to me.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's an interesting one. Yeah, definitely looking at who you're around. And some people that you could be around don't want you to change, don't want you to grow. They want you to stay where you are because that makes them comfortable. So it's definitely something that is important to look at your inner circle, because that determines where you're going, if you're going anywhere.
Absolutely. And even just on that point, I come from a low socioeconomic background, a single parent home. My mum's got 7 kids. 7 kids, and I'm the oldest girl. If I look back at my life when I was younger and you were to tell me, Miriam, you'll be here now, no chance. No chance, because it didn't add up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Graduating did not add up. But because I was around the right people, and because I understood that from a very young age, like the power of your network and your tribe, it's changed the trajectory of my life. And I'm still young, but because I now know that, I'm very mindful of who I'm around. Yeah. And it's just fed into every area of my life, and it does link to self-care. Yeah. Some people could be around, whether it's a partner that is just dragging them. And before you realize, you're just not the same person. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So the point I'm trying to say is like, don't play with that. And you have that control.
Oh, that was good. I love that. That was good. That was deep. Oh, thank you. Okay, moving on. I love that. You've had a really stressful day. 9 to 5 was 9 to 5 in. 5 to 9 was 5 to 9 in. But it was outside. You get home. What are you doing to relax?
For me, what I honestly love, I'm a YouTube girl.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really a Netflix God, but I love my YouTube like family videos,
Sure.
vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm yet to be a parent myself, but when I look at them, I'm like, oh, look at this. I don't know whether you guys know like Patricia Bright and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I miss her like family vlogs. They were so good. Yeah.
Patricia Bright, like, I used to be obsessed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with her and Mike and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thing. What else do I do? Like just rest, feet up, living my best life.
Mm-hmm.
Or I may have my little sister around, and bless her, she's 20.
Okay.
And she's just like, if you're trying to relax and rest, she's the right person to be around.
Okay, perfect.
Because she's so lighthearted and she'll just be giving you the lingo of what 20-year-olds are talking about, the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always at my place. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say that's a typical rest, chilled day for me.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's been such a good conversation. You've dropped a lot of gems. Like I said, for all age groups, even if I was a tech babe, I'll be feeling really inspired and I would know what to do. I'll be going to all the events. I've got some friends that are into tech, so I'll be advising them on what to do. But I've enjoyed hearing more about your story and just watching you grow. I know we've known each other just a couple of months, but I've been loving seeing how you show up on LinkedIn. It's been inspiring me. Thank you so much again. Before you go, please share with the audience your key takeaway or mantra for life.
Oh, I would say protect your mind. Protect your mind, because everything flows from that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey beautiful, here I am. It's clearly not the same day. Unfortunately, we had an issue with the end of the recording with Miriam, but I hope you enjoyed the episode. I think she dropped so many gems, so many key takeaways. Let me know your favorite bit in the comments below so we can keep the conversation going there. I will leave links as well so you can check out Miriam on all of her socials to find out more. Other than that, if you are new here, welcome. Please subscribe for more episodes. We do upload every single Sunday. I look forward to seeing you next week Sunday in the next episode. But yeah, take care, stay blessed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.